Hello everyone. I welcome you all in today's lecture. As we all are aware, we are doing the elective English syllabus for intermediate second year students. We are following the NCERT textbook Kaleidoscope. In the last lectures, we have completed the first poem by John Donne, and today we will start with a fresh new poem, number 2, by John Milton. This part has two poems by John Milton, on time and on Shakespeare. Like always, first we will discuss about the author, the poet, and then we will move on to the poem. John Milton, as you can see in the introduction in your textbook, was writing poetry from the age of 10 years. So you can see the tender age when he started writing. So it is very much apparent that after a certain age he became a master in writing poetry. After finishing his formal education at Cambridge, he read almost everything available in Latin, Greek, Italian, and English. So you see that he had a great command on these four languages, and not only these four languages, he had a command on other languages as well. But these were the main languages which he used to read and write in. So he was appointed as the Latin secretary, where he worked so hard that eye strain from years of late night reading caused him to become totally blind at the age of 45. So he was appointed as a secretary somewhere, and over there what happened, he worked so hard, he read so much, he wrote so much, and he strained so much his eyes that he went blind at the age of 45. So you can imagine the damage done, and more than that, you can imagine the level of knowledge that the person had, because somebody who goes blind just because of his reading, of the strain on his eyes, it certainly means that he had read profusely and he wrote profusely. Okay, so he, in the final years of his life, he wrote through dictation Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. So in the in the last years of his life, he wrote the two epics, that is Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. What are epics? Epics are very long poems. They go to span in books, and these two works, that is Paradise Lost and Regained, they are huge poems, and they are complete stories in the form of poetry. Okay, so this is all about the poet, and you must have known by now the amount of learning he had and the variedness of his learning. Okay, so this was about the poet. Now we will move on to the poem. Just like always, we discuss the themes of the poem. So also we will discuss the themes of this poem that we will be encountering. The most important theme that we will be encountering in this poem is the theme of time. You see that the title of the poem itself is On Time, and when we read it, we realize when we read the poem, we realize the way the poet has talked about time, and he has certainly talked about time in a negative manner, as he compares time to a human being, a very negative sort of a human being, which is only concerned about destruction, which is only concerned about destroying our time, destroying our life, and all the body that we possess after death. And time is responsible for ending all that we have in this life. But the poet also takes a positive note towards the end of the poem, and he has better things to say with regard to the power of time and the annihilation after death. So other themes that we will be encountering along with the theme of time are the theme of death, of humanity, about life, about the mutability of life, about eternity, as it is seen in theology in the Christian religion. So, all these are the themes that we will be seeing in this poem. So, all this will be much more clear when we read the poem, and as we read the poem, I will be explaining to you all these themes as they come along. So, without much delay, I would like to start reading the poem, and I request you all to pay attention to the recital of the poem, because, as I told you before as well, that the impact of any poem comes with the first reading, and it comes with your own reading aloud. Okay, so please follow the text on your screens. On Time by John Milton. Fly, envious time, till thou run out thy race. Call on the lazy leaden stepping hours, whose speed is but the heavy plumaged space, and glut thyself with what thy womb devours, which is no more than what is false and vain, and merely mortal dross. So little is our loss, so little is thy gain. For when, as each thing bad thou hast entombed, and last of all thy greedy self consumed, then long eternity shall greet our bliss with an individual kiss. And joy shall overtake us as a flood when everything that is sincerely good and perfectly divine, with truth and peace and love, shall ever shine above the supreme throne of Him whose happy making sight alone, when once our heavenly guided soul shall climb, then all this earthly grossness quit, attired with stars, we shall forever sit, triumphing over death and chance and thee, O time. So, this was the poem, the text of the poem, and I'm sure you must have got a basic idea about the poem with this reading. So, he is talking about time and what it does to human beings. What is the relationship of time to human beings? Time can be seen as a personification, and time has been given human like qualities. So, this is a personification in this poem. So, with this, I would like to pause over here today, and in the next lecture, we will continue with a line by line explanation of this poem, and also talk about the various figures of speech and the various themes that we come along. So, I request you to read the poem at least twice until we meet again. So, take care of yourselves until then. Thank you and see you.